You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Reign After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Reign After Show.
What's the episode called out?
Oh, wait for it. Here it comes.
Let it build! This is me writing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys realize that Nostradamus is not doing, at the beginning of the episodes, he doesn't do his little voiceover thing anymore?
Didn't notice.
I didn't see that. He hasn't been doing it for a while now, so.
Interesting.
They just let you enjoy this song, Scotland. Anyways, hello everybody. We're back here doing your favorite after show for Reign.
Yes.
This is a great episode.
Awesome episode. I loved it.
Awesome episode. I loved it too. And I just really want to jump into this episode. I don't even care what it's called. I don't even care what number it is, because that doesn't matter. Because
Toy Soldiers.
It's Toy Soldiers.
You ruined it, Phil. We were trying to give it no name.
We're trying to pump it up.
That's what we put Phil in the booth, so he's getting all testy. Sorry, ladies. We have to keep you guessing. We got to keep you guessing. You had a lot of bash in this episode. We had to keep Phil, and he got very, very jealous.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, Toy Soldiers. A lot happened in this episode. It was very exciting. A lot of storylines we haven't seen. A lot of new characters that we got to meet. And let's start with, one of the visitors that came to the castle in this episode was Greer's family. Her dick of a dad.
Woo!
Yeah.
Talk about daddy issues.
He's not nice.
No.
He was horrid.
Go back home.
Yeah, well, so he shows up at the castle, and he brings two of Greer's younger sisters, who I don't think those girls spoke, but I wonder if when they brought them into the audition, they were just like, we just need looks of shock. Just show us your best shocked face, and you'll get the part. And whoever had the best shocked face, those girls got the part.
I mean, he didn't like girls at all. He was like, unfortunately, I had daughters. Like, he was just, I want him to get back in the coach, take his ass back home.
Oh,
He doesn't even deserve to be there at the castle or at court. Like, he clearly, bro, you have no money. Like, why are you making Greer pick up for your slack? Like, you can't just be a broke deadbeat dad and expect your daughter to make you money.
And then to be rude, like to be so arrogant and condescending and like try to get over on Castle Roll. Like, wait a minute.
I want to play devil's advocate here, because I do disagree with how he treats his daughters. I think that's horrible. But back in that time, that was your purpose as a woman. If you don't have sons, that really sucked, because you have nobody to pass your lands to, your monies to carry on your name. So you had to make, like, the only benefit of having girls was to get money and like join forces with people and to use them and bidding. So, the way he's dealing with his daughters, like, that makes sense to me. The way he's treating them, that does not. He is not a nice person. But I mean, hey, he is trying to find any way to keep his nobility, and that takes money. And obviously, it's not his fault all of his mines dried up. I mean, I don't know really how that works, but that's something that if a mine, you don't know when you dig a hole when it's going to run out of whatever you're pulling out of it. So I mean, back then
Geography
I'm sure you did it.
Yes.
So like the hole went through menopause? Is that
I guess the hole went through. I'm glad blanks. Similar to Francis. Sorry, we'll get into that later.
Thanks.
I'm glad that they paired him though with Castleroy, because it was such a contrast of like this, like, to me, he's true Prince Charming. Like, he didn't want anything. He wasn't being vindictive. He might not be that easy on the eyes, but he's sweet. And I fell in love with him tonight in this episode more than any of the other characters.
Yeah, you know what? Like, A+++ for Lord Castleroy. He is so awesome. And not only did he come and defend Greer to the highest standards, he also took care of her sisters and her family, no questions asked. He just was like, if you're a businessman, you know what the prize is, and this is the prize.
And he also did it in a way where even though he was kind of like basically put her father in his place, he still didn't publicly embarrass him. He could have really, really like shamed him, but instead he did it in the privacy of them and was like,
he's still a gentleman.
He was such a gentleman about it.
Speaking of historical things, was that very common back then for men to? I know that women had to come with dowries, and we weren't worth much without a husband and being married off.
Men
but
paying for women?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, his sisters. I mean, that doesn't seem like a common thing they did back then, where a man would be like, and here's money for your other daughters too.
I mean, unless you're a very, very kind person, I doubt that happened very often.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, I feel like they're trying to make Lord Castleroy look a little snazzier. Like this episode, for some reason, I was just like, it's not that bad, Greer.
It's all personality. It's all personality.
He's looking a little better. He's looking a little better every day.
No, he's not.
His little getup was a little silkier. His hair was a little.
His hair was a little like, he looked like he had
he looked shinier.
Bags I thought Lord Castleroy was looking okay.
Not that bad.
He was no Bash. But he was looking okay.
He's all personality. He's a true Prince Charming.
Yeah. So when we leave,
okay.
The last
you don't agree? You don't think he's Prince Charming?
I'm not gonna. But all personality, I wouldn't say that. I would just say he's all chivalry and man and gentleman.
That was my nice way of saying that he's not attractive.
Oh.
That's what they say about girls.
Yeah.
She's a great personality. You know, that's what they say about chicks when they're. Anyways,
no, I think
you
he's
and
okay.
I one day will be on the same page.
This is why we do them on the same side. Well, so we leave the Greer storyline with, Castleroy basically giving her their marriage certificate and being like, you can sign this when you're ready to. Basically, because what he said about her sisters is, I want them to be able to marry for love. Because he's basically saying, I know, Greer, I know you don't love me, but I want to gain your love and gain your trust, and because he loves her, obviously, but he's going to wait for when she's ready and when she actually does love him to make that marriage complete, which is just another cherry on top. Go, Lord.
And I liked how in the beginning, in the opening, where all the girls were together, it was kind of like they were having like girls' day, and they were actually having fun again at court. I liked that.
Snowball
I
fight.
hated that scene. I hated it. I thought it was so cheesy. I'm sorry.
Grow up, ladies. Just kidding.
No, and it's not grow up, ladies. It just seemed a little too like.
Well, no, because what I was going to finish saying was, like, in that moment, they were all being vulnerable and honest with each other and talking about, like, some of the mistakes they made.
The
and,
conversation
Greer was like, she fell in love with this guy, So I liked that. Like, that was, an authentic moment, because that's what girls do.
Yeah.
Even today.
I really liked how the episode kind of, minus the scene with the Duke at the very beginning, but the episode kind of opened with all four girls kind of, like, reflecting back on, like, think about where all those girls were, episode 1, the first half of this entire season, those girls were in completely different predicaments.
Oh, yeah.
And this episode is a month since last episode, like the timetable-wise. It's been a month since all that craziness happened, which makes me wonder why Lola's not even a little bigger.
That's why she had her cape on, which those capes were beautiful, amazing, and those gloves with the jewels.
Yeah.
And,
so good.
To die.
If you went on the Reign Facebook page, you can see really cool behind the scenes photos of when they were shooting that scene. And obviously we've had a really rough winter all over the United States, but and they film in Canada, and they had not only those big capes on, which look warm, but like in between scenes, they're all standing there with Starbucks and have even bigger capes on top of the capes that are like waterproof and stuff, and they're all they just look freezing. But like props to them because they're dealing with the elements, but they're still giving us great television, so I appreciate it.
Killing it, girls.
Yay.
So let's move on to Penelope and Catherine.
Oh, so good. So good.
Is there not another appropriate moment to say, bye, Felicia?
Could I step in real
Felicia.
fast?
Shout out to JJ McAvoy.
Yes, that picture is hilarious.
That was amazing.
So funny.
Can we get a round of applause for her for this YouTube?
Yes.
Because I don't know if
Twitter,
you saw it.
Twitter, yeah.
Twitter.
I did not. What are you guys talking
Oh
about?
my gosh. Okay, JJ, hilarious girl, made a meme of Felicia and I, and it was Felicia.
This is not Felicia. I know you're still struggling about who is Felicia.
This is hilarious.
not
It was
Felicia.
Fahnia and I, and Fahnia's staring at me, laughing in my face, and I'm just like, oh, and it said #bye Felicia. It was so funny.
It was pretty awesome. We'll put it
Thank
on-
you for
on-
that.
Well, more relevant to the show.
Sorry.
No worries. No, I love that kind of stuff. However, the thing that upset me about tonight's episode slightly, and I'm reminded of it when we're talking about this, was that fact that, Catherine puts her in the tower, as I'll call it. But Mary had just gotten out of the tower, and there was that passage of time between last episode and tonight's episode where I was like, it just kind of went by so fast. And
Yeah.
specifically, I want to talk more about Francis and Mary and that relationship and how it affects that. But I am reminded of it based on, now that Penelope is locked in the bell tower and with all of Catherine's threats, which, by the way, I love her kind of going back into position now, saying to her, hey, you wouldn't want anything to happen, would you?
Yeah, I have not liked. I mean, I know Penelope is not supposed to be a likable character, but I haven't liked her since the beginning. I don't want to see her back. And the fact that now Catherine is giving her the chance to be in her inner circle. Like, obviously this chick has outsmarted you before, Catherine. And I know Catherine, like, in her head, she's like, oh, keep your, friends close, enemies closer. And so but it's just like, why would you want this chick to work for you who obviously has like a vendetta against you?
Yeah.
Like, and you're going to train her to be better at deceiving people? Like, I just think, I'm like, Catherine, you're
That's not
smarter than
smart.
that. Why are you doing this?
I think the position is fitting. Go off and be a prostitute and back into the prostitute farm, because once that happens, that's what she said. She was going off to the king was like, I have my mistresses over.
The prostitute farm? Who's the head of that? The game and
Have you been to this prostitute?
It's the bunny
You
ranch.
seem to
No,
know.
but like, so King Henry was like, I have mistresses over here in this land, you go there. And then Catherine is like, well, hey, be a parting my flying vaginas, or whatever they're called, which I think is great for her, because
Flying bees.
Yes.
because once that happens, the king's not going to want her as much, because she's going to be used good.
Well, the king definitely doesn't want her at all. Like,
The king is over
King
her
Henry
completely.
is so done with her. And
He had a vision and a headache about it.
this whole pregnancy stunt was hilarious. We all knew it was ridiculous the second those words were coming out of her mouth. But Queen Catherine, when she was threatening her, she literally said, I will grind you into the dust you no longer seem fit to sweep.
That
I
was
was
a great
like,
line.
oh, you're so badass.
I love Catherine.
She's
yeah.
so...
And she, in
her.
that moment, she admitted that those other girls were murdered. And like, watch out, you could be one of them. I was surprised that she let that secret out.
Nah. She doesn't care. But nobody's gonna trust Penelope anymore because like she's so out of favor with the king. I just didn't understand why Catherine just didn't get rid of her. Like just be done with her.
she can be
I don't
used-
know.
she's-
There's plenty of other like women there that Catherine can have more power over and manipulate.
But you
like,
saw
Here's
what happened
why-
to the last girls. They all ended up dead. So
I think it's also, it's a great kind of example, right? Yes, she can kind of have power over other people, but part of that power is saying to somebody else, like, hey, look at someone who tried to kind of go against me and whatever else. Now look at her. I'm in complete control. And so that, it's like a case study almost.
Yeah, but I just her character is not the type of person that's going to go to this like being like, yay, I'm gonna work for Catherine. She's gonna go to this and be like, yay, Catherine's thinking I'm working for her and I'm gonna work against her, because obviously Penelope is super power hungry and she always is gonna want that power. So I don't know. I think this is gonna come back to bite Catherine in the butt.
But I think, what's interesting too to kind of note is, as you're mentioning that, is how do you control your armies, right? And I think where King Henry is playing with fire and now Francis kind of playing with fire, I think Catherine's playing with fire, and they all have this trait within them where they live very dangerously, and and if it pays off, it could be wonderful, but there's a lot of risk involved.
I don't know. We can move on from this.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like,
here's the thing. Penelope is ridiculous. Like, she thinks that she's all high and mighty. Like, even when we first saw her walking the episode and the guard stopped her, she's like, do you not know who I am? And they're like, yeah, you're the girl who got the bean. Like, peace out. But then the whole, like,
bitch, please.
Like, the trick of, like, her, like, trying to sleep with that guy in, like, the kitchen or the stables or wherever they were, and then
she was trying to sleep with him to get pregnant. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Right. Like, to prove that King Henry really got her pregnant so she could actually just stay around. And I think that the only reason the queen wanted to keep her around is because I think the queen had finally broken her down so much, like, beat you again, beat you again, beat you again. Oh, wait, got you one more time, biatch. I think she's finally like, listen, like, this is your last chance. And Penelope, even when they were in the tower, was like, please, can I please still stay? I'll clean bedpans. I'll do whatever. And I think that's when Catherine knew, I finally have beaten her so many times. Now she can finally work for me. I mean, I don't trust her either. I'm just saying that's probably what Catherine was thinking. I don't trust her either. I don't think it was a good idea. She should just peace out, Girl Scout. But
or maybe Catherine's like making like 6 moves ahead, knowing that she's going to turn on her. I don't know. Catherine, I have more faith in you, Catherine, than what this might seem like. So hopefully when Penelope does kind of turn on you, which I think she will, you're going to be ready for it because you've seen the 6 steps ahead, because you are the queen, and the queen is badass in chess and in the show.
She kills it.
Let's next talk about the hottie of the night.
Woo-wee.
Oh my God! Can you
Guys, stop it.
Tonight, woo!
Hottie of the night.
Hot and bothered.
I mean, Phil, if you walked in here and stripped off your shirt like that, you could get those same reactions.
No, but he, like, the first time he just kind of like turned around like, oh, do I not have a shirt on? Like that.
Yeah, he was like,
looking at the camera.
I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, Bash could get it.
But I am happy for them that they are, obviously these are 2 very, very attractive people. We were wrong. We were wrong in thinking last week.
I didn't think that.
Who did I think that they
You thought
had
that.
banged? I thought they had
slept
banged.
together.
They didn't?
No, obviously
I
this
wrote
is the
in
first
my
time they
notes,
slept together.
haha, Phil, because I was going to shove it in his face that I was right. They did sleep together.
No,
No,
they
they
slept
did
together
not.
this
No.
episode, but the last episode they had not slept
Oh my God.
together.
Tonight was their
Tonight
first
was
night.
their first time because Bash wanted to take it slow, and he wanted Kenna to forget about every other man that she's ever had a sexual experience with, basically, and he seemed to do his job.
There was so much foreplay in this CW episode.
So much foreplay.
God.
I was like,
Bash.
how long is it? And even Kenna was like, okay, Bash. Okay, come on, that's just come on.
But I loved how they were like, it's them and they're starting fresh and they have each other. Like, it's a new relationship. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they have each other and they're not playing second fiddle to anybody else. So
Yeah.
Go get it.
I loved it. Like, Bash killed it. He killed it in all aspects of that bedroom, whatever went down. Like,
I had one issue with the bedroom scene. It was just the very, very start of it. When he was like trying to caress her hair back, his like hand got stuck, and it just kind of looked a little like awkward. And I don't know, and I feel like he just like, I mean, probably he just kept going in the scene, but it just looked like something got a little like stuck or like a little awkward, but he just kept going.
I'm just not gonna.
But I forgot about it. I'm gonna let it go. I let it go. It's gone.
Let it go. Just get it out and let it go, because Bash
I just needed to say
killed
that.
it.
Yeah, it was very, very hot, and
Woo.
woo.
although I was a little taken aback, I have to admit, when he didn't actually want to do it. He didn't want to seal the deal until after he saw Mary and Francis,
Yeah,
which
he
I
was
was
a little
like, no, like let go of those feelings, please, Bash. Like, have this new life
That was
with Kenna.
so upsetting to me, because I actually genuinely felt bad for Kenna in that situation. I felt like she was opening up and really forgetting about things and realizing that she does have feelings for Bash, and it was going to be just the 2 of them, and she would finally be cared for and happy. And then when that happened, he immediately saw, the second he saw Mary and Francis, he ran back and was like, well, I'm ready now. It was kind of like revenge. Like, it wasn't like a I love you type thing. It was just like, I need to do this to get one up on them.
Well, and
I don't
Kenna
know. It
felt
was
that.
sad.
Kenna felt that because
Yeah.
Kenna grabbed him and was like, I want you to be only seeing me. Like, she knows. And I'm giving her more credit for her intelligence.
That's never happened before.
But she knows she could. She's good at reading people. I think that's one of her big, like a very good strong suit for her. But yeah, she was like, "Look at me. It's just me." Like even though she didn't realize he saw Mary and Francis making out, I think she knew he wasn't thinking about her. Like he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And then he got in it.
Literally.
But my favorite part about this is like all this crazy stuff is going on, like really intense dramatic scenes, screaming at each other, and then it just like cuts to like Bash and Kenna banging. Like
Yeah.
it was like and then like the very sensual music, like
The music
it
was
baby making
good.
music.
Yeah. The music for their scene was good.
Phil, what did you feel about those scenes?
Phil.
Oh.
I enjoyed this part of the storyline. No, not because of. Yes, I can say because of Kenna, but more so, I just like I like Bash kind of going where he's going because we're seeing the ripples in the relationship of Mary and Francis, and again, not on the surface level. This is what Mary could have had. She could have had a loving and supportive husband, and now she don't, or at least in her mind.
I think she has a loving and supportive husband.
I completely think that she has a loving and supportive husband. I just think that they were both dealt the hand of being rulers.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't change. Francis, he was like, I will go to battle for you. I will risk my life for you and for Scotland. Like, he was genuinely willing to do all of those things. He went over his father's head and made a deal. Like, he would genuinely wanted to do all of that for Mary and for her country. Yeah. Obviously, the cards ended up dealing him a different shitty hand, but he genuinely would do that for her because he loved her. And it just sucks that they both have to be a king and a queen because they're so hard-headed.
Well, and it's kind of cool now because even if Mary, I think, was with Bash, I think they would be running into these same things exactly because you said, because they're rulers. Like, Bash and Kenna don't have rules. Rulers have rules, and they have other things that are more important than themselves that they have to consider if they want to be a good ruler. And both Francis and Mary desperately want to be good rulers because they love their countries, and that is in itself their biggest fault as well.
I think this is going to be an ongoing storyline, the conflict of being a king and then being a husband or wife, and they're going to be constantly like conflicted. I thought the same thing. Like in the beginning, Francis was like, yes, let's go help Mama Mary. Like, let's do what it takes. But then when he has to go to work, which is putting on his king crown, he has to go to work. So I like it. It keeps me interested and keeps them conflicted.
And if that was Bash, like it just would be so different because I think that he loves his country, of course, but I don't think that he wasn't raised to be the ruler that Francis has to be. And I think that he would be more of a pushover, do whatever Mary says. Like, he would succumb to what she wanted, and then it would be really tough for France.
Mary would be dead. If she would have married Bash, Mary would be dead. Her brother would have come. She would have Bash would have let her go. She would have left. She would have been assassinated.
So wait, did we find out what happened on the boat with her brother when he went back, or
no? We didn't find out what happened, but like we did find out that there was like a price on Mary's head. Like that's why they're trying to get her so desperately to go back.
Right, but so was he legit in putting her in the tower?
Yeah. Well, Francis put her in the tower.
Well, Francis was legit to put her in the tower because he did find out from a footsman that he was paid to assassinate her. We don't know if the brother was involved. There were other assassinators.
That's what I want to know. Did they address that this episode? No. Did we find out, if the brother's intentions and if something actually happened on the boat on the way out there, or okay?
We don't know yet.
Don't know.
Because I was on his side, but I need to know.
On the brother's side?
No, I was on Francis' side about putting her in the tower, but I need to make sure.
Let's talk about kind of the main storyline of this episode. And the whole episode actually started with this random dude with all like an army, and basically we see him bring a dead son to a woman and then take her 14-year-old son away and say, I'll trade you a dead son for a live one. I don't care how old he is. Here's your money. Like, peace out. You don't have a choice. And then we come to find out this is Mary's uncle, the Duke of Guise, who is Mary de Guise's brother, who was kicked out of Scottish Scottish court because he got too power hungry and was
French court, not
was
Scottish
it French?
court.
No, I think it was Scottish, but they know his reputation in France as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was Mary's father who kicked him out.
Oh, got it. My bad.
So this power hungry crazy man who's basically like scared people and paid to build this army that he's been marching around with. And Mary feels so desperate because Catherine won't help her, bring an army to help her mother because her mother is stuck in a castle that's being attacked by a bunch of Protestant rebels. To catch you all up on your history lesson today. But so she writes to her uncle. Catherine's like, what the hell did you just do? Henry's like, even though in his crazy mind, he's always like, what the hell is going on? But he was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, don't bring him here. Catherine said you just brought the devil into our home.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm interested to see who's going to be worse, the darkness or the Duke? Like, which one is... Which one
I'm still wondering where this darkness is. Like, the darkness was such a big thing, and now it's just like... We didn't even see Nostradamus this episode.
No. You know what I think the darkness is like? It's like a prank or like payback. You know when you know like your sibling is going to get you, but you don't know when they're going to get you or when they're going to pull the prank and get back at you?
It's like
I
the
feel
slap bet from How I Met Your Mother. That's what
so
I feel like
scary.
the darkness is.
You know, I don't know what that is, but
It's okay.
I just feel like we're just waiting, like, okay, and then it's going to come when we least expect
Like,
it.
You know what would be perfect if it tied into King Henry's obsessions. You know, because it deals with ungodly things, and he's so quote unquote
Maybe
godly.
they put a curse on Henry. Maybe that's why Henry's going crazy. The darkness got into him.
That's why he doesn't have on any pants.
So the Duke gets here. Mary meets the Duke with Francis, and immediately, like in that first scene, we didn't really know how bad this guy was. In that scene when he's talking to Mary, this is a bad dude. We don't like him.
He's smart though. I think that was a really power play and a chess move to his request, and especially because the king is cuckoo right now. I think well played. He might not be the best guy, but very smart tactic.
I just can't believe he's paying people and just like taking their sons. I thought the armies were built from like, this is your duty to your country. You serve. I mean, sometimes you have to, but like you do it because you love your country and you want to defend your country. Like that poor 14-year-old boy, like they just had no choice, and the guy just handed over money, and her uncle even said, he was like, I pay them well, like doesn't matter, like
At
that's
least
crazy.
he gave them money though. So he could have just come in, because you saw the army, like that woman couldn't have done anything. He could have just come in and like taken her son and been like, too bad, so sad.
So I think that was the norm back then. I don't think you got a choice.
I don't think that you got paid though. I think that the paying is different.
I don't know. You know what? If you have an idea of how it worked back then, write us a comment. Go on YouTube. Go on iTunes. Rate us. Like us.
Heck, write an email.
Write us an email. Yeah.
Info at AfterBuzz TV.
Do it. We love it. We like, you guys are the best fans out there who watch this after show. We love all your discussions. We love the funny gifs you make. And you guys are all, it makes it so much more fun for our week. So thank you. Thank you.
And we read all the comments all week. And it's so awesome how into it you guys are, because we're obviously super into it too.
So it's shout out time really quick. Please, Phil. So Dephilius32, you are the 5th co-host. Like, hi, you've been knighted, okay? You're the best. And forgive me, everyone, if I mispronounce your name handles and your usernames. It's, I can be a little slow. Genji the singer, what's up, girl? Sarah Bashal, hello. Annie Bell, thank you very much. Priscilla Biden, she's always commenting, watching.
Are you
we
related
love you.
to Joe Biden?
And lastly, Katie Carver, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys watching our show and tuning in because we like you.
We love you guys.
Totes.
You guys are great. So to jump back to this crazy thing that is going on with this Duke. So Mary's like, I'm over it. We're screwed. I don't know what we're going to do because we can't give. The Duke basically wants a spot in French court to be basically the hand of the king, the right-hand man of the king. So to have a lot of power, basically control his armies. And he wants that, but he doesn't want that from Henry because he's like, Henry's cuckoo. I can't get anything from him, basically. Like, I can't get any power from him because he's nuts. So what Francis goes in is Francis basically is like, hey, if you do this for me, if you just do this for Mary, I will give you that position when I come to power. And then Francis goes another step to be like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that you follow through because I'm going to go with you to Scotland. And he's like, well, what if you die? And he's like, well, if you die, then you don't get your end of the bargain. So Francis was really sneaky. Props to you, Francis, for being... I thought it was a very kingly and noble move for him and smart move.
Yeah, he was probably thinking, I'm going to have to kill this guy as soon as I'm king.
That's a good thought. That would be a smart thought.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Francis, like, make this deal. But this guy, his history of being power hungry is extremely severe. So I don't think that that's the kind of guy who is. And he said, I want to serve under a king, a great, great king. But I think that he just wants to be really in control of something. So I don't know.
And did he low-key kind of comment about maybe poisoning King Henry or having a hand in that?
Maybe someone's feeding him poison. That's why he's crazy.
The darkness.
What?
I think somebody from like if Henry's being poisoned, I think Phil's very right, as it could be that the darkness or whoever worships the darkness could be very much involved in why Henry is going crazy with either poison or I don't know what else it could be, but yes.
It's penetrating his dreams. This darkness.
Don't say the word penetrating.
Well, hey, you took it there.
My brain did too.
You say the word I watched, I'm not even going to go into it. Anyways. Oh gosh, Phil, what do you think about this Duke's army?
His army specifically, or just the storyline?
This storyline. Give us your opinions.
I'm excited for this. I'm excited because it's finally strategy, and all this talk of England and Scotland and things like that. And as much as I love the show, I want to go out of the castle just a little bit. Just to know things are happening outside the castle, and I think that's where we really need to kind of go. And I know perhaps we won't to the full extent that I wish we could for budgets and other reasons, but I'm excited to kind of know that things are happening, because we always get this like, someone's got to go to Scotland or someone's got to go here, but we never really get to go there. When Bash was exiled, he went on the outskirts of the woods, but then we came back. You know what I mean? And so I really want to see this fully play out. If nothing else, I want to see not necessarily an all-out war, but skirmishes, and I love seeing the toy soldiers and kind of playing that chess game in some sense. So I want to see more of that.
I did like that scene between Henry and Francis in the throne room, when basically Francis is calling out his dad and saying, "You're mad. What are you thinking?" Like Francis, like, and I saw the desperation. Like, I think it's breaking Francis's heart that like he's watching his father crumble in kind of front of him. And Henry was a good king, like he was, but now he's just a cuckoo king. And
I wonder how long this cuckoo storyline is gonna play out. Like, when will we?
Well, it looks like it probably can't last that much longer. He's extremely putting his country in danger by sending those soldiers off. Like that's bad.
Yeah, and
that's
himself.
Really bad.
He was ready to go out the door with no pants on and
pants.
Which he's graduated from his missing shoes. So just when I thought the batshit crazy scale couldn't get any higher, the pants come off. So now he's like all the way up here, and I just want to know what's going to come off next.
I hope we just get a naked Henry.
Why not?
Why not get us a full-on naked Henry?
One of my favorite DILFs.
I would be, best DILF. He's a great DILF. Oof. Minus the crazy and pushing women out windows.
Yeah.
And beheading innocent men.
A lot of things are wrong with our attraction to him. But a lot of things are right.
There was another scene that I really, really liked. It was with Henry, Catherine, Francis, and Mary. And it was when Henry was Catherine told Mary, you don't just have your mother to worry about at this point, but Bloody Mary... Queen Mary of England passed the succession is going to give the crown to Elizabeth, who is a bastard and a Protestant. Two really bad things apparently at this time of this era. which then kind of makes Mary and that marriage worthless a little bit. I mean, yay, they're in love. I'm really happy. But like Mary DeGeese pushed it. She lied to get that to happen in hopes that it would, force them to recognize Mary as the new, Queen of England once the other Mary died. But everything's kind of blown up in their faces.
Yeah, and King Henry was not shy about telling Mary to her face how worthless she is.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not giving me England, and are you even pregnant? Like, it just was like, it was horrid.
It was bad, but it's at some point it has to be addressed. Like, you have to not just be here to be in love with our son. You have to start producing
something.
But Mary, props to her. Like, she stood up to Henry. Like, even though Henry kind of like was a little more right, but like that kind of yelling match was so intense, and I loved it, and I like believed it, and I felt like she's very strong and independent. She didn't need Frances yelling for anything. She can take care of herself.
I think long gone are the days where Mary is just kind of silent and like, okay, like she's in her queenness and her speakingness, and she gives it right back, which we've been seeing, and I love it when she does that.
Yeah,
girl power.
She's all right. I mean, it's like sometimes I'm just like, ugh.
We're going to move on before she gets really pissed us all off. Don't you diss Mary.
I know.
Haters going to hate.
No, I don't want to. I'm not haters going to hate. I'm just like.
You want her to have a seat?
No, I don't want her to have a seat. I just want to see some more action come out of it than just the words. I feel like Mary's been talking the talk.
Well, she can't create action because Frances is, every time she's trying to create action, Frances stops her or locks her in a tower. Like,
I'll come back to you on that with my prediction.
Wait. Was it this episode or last episode where she said, I should have made some secret treaties along the way?
This episode.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was right.
Yeah.
But, I think that's very true. She should have made, had she been really as smart as, sometimes she lets on to be, other times not so much. And you know what? Ultimately, at the end of season 10, which we're hoping that, we might find out that the righteous path is the true path, but right now it's not really paying off. And so, you know what? Maybe she should have made secret deals and alliances along the way.
Yeah.
And again, that's what it's funny because, Bash saw them, but he saw a perfect kind of union. Mm-hmm. Obviously the union is not so perfect.
Well, and Bash did see them when Mary finds out from Frances that he has convinced the Duke to march the army to Scotland and save her mother. Mary is overcome with love. She forgives Frances for ever locking her in the tower. Starts making out. Bash sees it. Bash gets angry, so he takes off his shirt and goes and bangs Kenna. I love it. He just walks out, kind of mean mugs them from afar, and then just stomps back in, takes off his shirt, and is like, I'm gonna get you again.
Yeah.
My Bash impression. But very quickly, I'm gonna get you again. Yeah. Very quickly, Frances again goes back on his promise.
Promises are meant to be broken. I was told that once.
Frances has broken everything. I have to give to Mary. Frances has broken every single one of his promises.
Yeah, that's why you don't make promises.
Yeah, it's devastating, and it definitely it sucks. But at the same time, she said that she understood why he did it because she is also a queen, so she gets it, and because he's a king, and that's why their union it's so good but so bad. Mm-hmm. I genuinely believe that Francis doesn't want to do it. He wants to help Mary. He wants to help Scotland. He wants to do right by her. But he legitimately was. He doesn't have a choice.
He doesn't have it. No, you're right.
Hard.
He doesn't have a choice because if Calais falls, France is done. Mm-hmm. And then Scotland's done. That because of what the mistake his father made. It's not Francis's fault. He has to cover his father's mistake, and he has to step up as Dauphin, as future king, to cover his father's butt. And that sucks that he has to sacrifice for a time helping Mary's mother. But hopefully, I don't think it will happen. But hopefully, they'll get there in time. They will save Calais, and then they can get up to Scotland and save, stop the Protestant rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that would be definitely ideal, but I don't. This might be a prediction, but when the episode ended, I didn't think it was over yet, and I was like, Mary's gonna pack her stuff and just head up on Scotland herself.
That was one of my predictions. It's okay. I don't care. I have others.
We'll get to predictions in a
Nostradamus will
second.
be
So,
happy.
so we end this episode. Mary basically tells Francis, "Don't make me a promise again that you can't keep."
and come back alive.
So
And
going
come
back
back
to that,
alive.
it's, sometimes you have to sacrifice one for the greater good of all. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing a lot, because they are royals and they are kings and queens, and there's that fine line of balancing both. So
And Catherine, in a few episodes back, said, "Mary, you better get used to killing innocent people."
yeah,
Because you have to do it as a queen, basically.
it's part of the job description.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with it, and you have to forgive. You don't forget, which is what Mary was saying. So
You learn and you forgive, and they're all the our four ladies are all standing up on the balcony again and waving goodbye to their gentlemen off to war. And
Off to war.
it sounded like
accent was that.
It sounds like we're not going to see Frances back at the castle for a little bit. It sounded like, because when her and Frances were kind of doing the dirty, she said something about, "Oh, hopefully when you come back, you'll come back and see us," as like hoping that maybe he would knock her up before he left, and he would come back to see an error, or that she was pregnant. So I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on this episode? Is there anything we missed?
I'm good. Phil?
Y'all go to me when you have nothing to say. Why can't I
No.
just chime in when I want to chime in?
You can chime in whenever you want.
Yeah, Phil.
We're just trying to include you.
Phil, you
because you're
can
not-
mute our mics. You have
Yeah,
all the power in there,
I know
truly.
I do. I did, and that's what made the episode so interesting. It was a good episode, but I found it interesting the time that we chose to come back in on. I forget how long it has been since Mary was locked away, and we kind of begin with them talking about how upset Mary is, and at the end of the episode, that's where feeling-wise and emotion-wise we're left with her still kind of being upset with Francis and not in a good place. And I found that very interesting, and a lot of people are leaving, but there's still a lot of people that are staying, and it's going to be interesting how they now interact with in this case Mary specifically.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, then, on that note, predictions?
On that note, predictions. I want to go first.
Go, take it away.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so next week we're going to have a battle. It's going to be an epic battle. And I think one of the people that we're going to see in the battle for next week is going to be Leith, is going to be in the army that is going to meet up with the Duke's army, aka with Francis. I think Leith is somehow going to save Francis's life, thus earn a title and land and happiness, and go back and hoping to be with Greer, but then Greer's already falling in love with Castleroy, but she hasn't signed the paper yet, so it's gonna be dramatic.
Ooh, that's
That's
a
what
love
I think is gonna
triangle.
happen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mercy.
Okay, that would be so cool, but then it's like, Greer, you're about to screw over your whole fam
family.
of girls.
Yeah.
Just for love.
Well, my prediction was one of them was that Mary was going to go off to Scotland and handle some business and get some allies, and that we're also might find out that Mary's sterile. I think that might happen.
I think
And
Francis is sterile, if anything, because
How was Francis sterile when he knocked up Lola?
Oh, true story. No, but this is why, because Mary. No, but Mary has. Spoiler alert.
He spent his last,
He spent
Now
his
he's
last
sterile
semen
now.
in Lola. No,
Did that happen?
I don't know, but I don't know science. Okay, Mary.
So if you do it, if it comes out too many
Hey,
times, it
before
doesn't
then,
work.
I don't know.
Francis came close to the dark side. Remember, because he went through the water and all that stuff. So who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the wildest theory. Honestly, if that came
but
true,
Mary,
I'd be so shocked.
Mary has children later in life
right, but
with other husbands.
I understand if it's true to history, but it's just my prediction. I'm throwing history out the window, and I'm just trying to make Nostradamus and the people listening happy. Mary's sterile. Done. Off.
Mary's sterile.
Yikes. I have a prediction that you guys are going to leave awesome comments this week and give me better predictions that I can come up with.
Way to be lame. Okay, how about next week? We do have a special guest from the show coming in studio live. He will be tweeting with us during the show.
He or she.
Why can't we say he?
Can we say he?
Yeah, I don't think that gives it away.
Okay, he.
Ooh.
He.
You guys,
Is it gonna be
really
Bash?
exciting.
Is it gonna be Bash? Oh my gosh. Is it gonna be Francis?
Is it going to be King Henry?
Oh, Nostradamus?
With no pants.
Oh my goodness.
I'll work on my predictions and I'll tweet some because that was lame. I'm not lame, but Phil called me lame. But I'll work on it and I'll tweet some for you guys. If you guys help us tweet about our fun secret special guest next week.
Yeah. Maybe it's Lord Castleroy. Ooh, or the Duke. I'm excited. Well, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
And you can find me on Instagram at Meagan Medick and on Twitter at the Bow Wow Gal.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KeetinM33.
And I guarantee we'll find out who the darkness is on next week's episode because it could be our special guest. Imagine if we got an exclusive with the darkness.
Cool.
Exclusive with the darkness.
Except that's not going to happen.
Right?
Thanks for watching / listening. We love you guys.
We're just sitting in the studio in the dark.
Hashtag get Keaton on Reign.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.